Inputs. Also joining us on the broadcast right now on Breaking Ground is Tuhin Sinha, spokesperson of the BJP. Xavier Rodriguez is the chief editor of the Goa Chronicles, and Touseef Khan joins us as well. He's a lawyer. Tuhin, let me start with you right now. Two things have been established today. Number one, that Rhea has confessed she did indeed know about the procurement of drugs, ostensibly for Sushant Singh Rajput, something she had denied earlier. That makes a slight chink in her armor there. The second, of course, is that she claims even today she did not consume any such drugs. However, Times Now broke that story first, and that dump data is also with the NCP, I believe, where she's talking to Gaurav Arya about a synthetic drug, and in those chats has confessed she's tried it at least once. Does that not point to the fact that Rhea perhaps is changing her story from time to time, allegedly?
Well, I really don't know what the prime accused and her lawyer want to prove over here, because procurement and trading of drugs is a bigger crime than personal consumption of drugs. So anyway, the investigation is all in full force, and I really don't want to get into the details of it. What I am a little concerned about is why is the state government getting so riled with this investigation? Who were they shielding till now? Was it the drug mafia, or was it somebody in the ruling dispensation who was privy to the whole thing, or who had links to the drug mafia? That is my concern. What Rhea is doing, I'm sure the investigating agencies are competent enough to get to the bottom of the truth, which they are doing. But the larger question for me remains, who exactly was the ruling dispensation in Maharashtra trying to shield?
Okay, so you will admit, Tuhin Sinha, that now you say the bigger concern for you is the drug cartel allegedly and the drug mafia that operates in Mumbai, although this is still about Sushant Singh Rajput's death. And you will agree with me, Tuhin Sinha, and so will Xavier Rodriguez, that the drug angle, Xavier, came out of the initial investigation into the death of Sushant Singh Rajput. It's an aspect of the story. It's not the entire story altogether. However, it's a very crucial part which many believe the Mumbai police overlooked, either willingly or unwillingly. I am in no position to judge here. But the fact is, Rhea does keep changing her story related to the drugs. There are certain inconsistencies that will be very difficult and hard for her team to reconcile with if this investigation continues on this path, Xavier.
I agree with you over there. It's very important to understand that there is a reason behind the mysterious death of Sushant Singh Rajput as well as Rhea Chakraborty. Drugs could be a very integral part of it. So the investigative agencies that are looking into it are trying to find out every little evidence that is required to understand what led to the death of Sushant Singh Rajput. Now, in my understanding and evaluating and analyzing all the data available at my disposal, it is certainly clear that Sushant Singh Rajput and Rhea Chakraborty had information. Now, whether that information is linked to drugs or whether that information is linked to any other reason that has led to their death, whichever way you want to look at it, one needs to understand that information is crucial.
Absolutely. Xavier, there's another big development today that Rhea has filed a complaint against Sushant Singh Rajput's sister, alleging in that complaint that his sister procured some banned drugs under the NDPS Act and was then administered and fed to Sushant Singh Rajput. Some grave charges there. However, we'll try and put counter questions to what Rhea is saying in that complaint. Number one, she says and alleges sister unlawfully prescribed psychotropic drugs. The obvious question there is, will Rhea first answer why she administered or fed recreational drugs to Sushant Singh Rajput, either it was marijuana or any other drug, when she knew and claims that Sushant Singh Rajput's mental state was something she was aware of? Number two, the charge she's making against Sushant's sister is that Sushant died mere days after taking those allegedly bogus prescriptive drugs. The question that we are asking here is, wasn't Rhea doing the exact same thing with the marijuana, with the bud, with the hash? While knowing all of this, wasn't she also procuring drugs for Sushant Singh Rajput? The third very grave charge that Rhea is alleging in that particular report was the prescription was fabricated, was false, and he was listed as an OPD patient. The point here is that Rhea is alleging all of this based on what? Does she have concrete evidence, solid proof to back these allegations up? Another charge she's making is that the drugs prescribed by the doctors cannot be done electronically. However, in these times of a pandemic, we've seen everything being done electronically. Does she have any proof that it was done in a surreptitious manner and everything was not above the board? The last charge that we're focusing on right now, when Rhea alleges in that particular complaint that Sushant's sister and the doctor in question conspired, the word used is conspired, to prescribe unlawful substances. The question then becomes, how is it a conspiracy if at all Sushant had consented to his sister getting those prescribed drugs for him? Now, these are questions that Rhea must answer and back up these allegations and charges with proof if she expects people to take these charges seriously. Tamal Saha, again, joining us right now. Tamal, these charges are very grave. I think we've established that. And I also want to go to great lengths to explain to our viewers, these are just allegations. Nothing has been proven yet. Just like in the case of Rhea, all allegations against her are still allegations. But what she's leveling against Sushant Singh Rajput's sister are exactly those allegations that we don't know have solid proof behind them.
Well, that's right, Athar, and that's exactly what I pointed out in the beginning of this broadcast as why did she wait all this while to lodge this complaint? Why 6th of September? Why not 1st of September? Why not any other day in the month of August? Why not in July? And why definitely not in June? Because if these conversations had happened on 8th of June, if we focus on point number 2 that she is trying to refer to, she is saying that she had seen Sushant Singh Rajput having a conversation with his own sister, that is Priyanka, and the conversation which she is now in possession of, and that conversation she is alleging that hinted that Priyanka was advising medicines to Sushant Singh Rajput without any doctor's consultation. Now, these allegations are subject to investigation, but the question that one would want to understand is whether she has also done the same thing, and most importantly, why now? Why on the day that you have come down to the NCB office to yourself face questions? Most importantly, Sushant Singh Rajput used to consume drugs or consume marijuana. That's what Rhea Chakraborty is alleging. We also know Touseef Chakraborty has made similar allegations. Samuel Miranda in his deposition and his statement has said that he was
very interesting point
drugs.
here. I want to go across to Touseef Ahmed. He himself is a lawyer. Touseef, many people are opining today that this particular complaint by Rhea is nothing but a Hail Mary pass. For those who don't know what a Hail Mary pass is, it's a last chance, an attempt really to try and save the game. Now, whether or not that particular analogy is right here, I'd leave that to our viewers' discretion. But doesn't it look like more of a legal strategy, a counter-attack more than anything else, in the absence of any solid concrete proof provided by Rhea's lawyers?
No, if allegations are raised against Rhea, then she also has a right to raise counter-allegations. Nothing in law forbids her to raise counter-allegations. And the focus of investigation will not be only on Rhea, it will be also on the SSR's sister. And likewise, she is making those allegations. But we do not have any transcript, we do not have the paper, the deposition before us. So we are not in a position to make any conclusive statement or to make any political charge that the government was involved.
If Rhea had information that the prescription was bogus, why not come up with it and initiate this complaint much earlier? Why wait till now when she's caught in the middle of a very intense grilling session by the NCB? That raises questions, Touseef.
No, well, did she have reason to raise all these points before? Now, obviously, she has a reason. And whenever, a case progresses at its own pace, the investigation is ongoing. Investigation has not concluded.
Okay.
So it is expected that she would bring all the material on the table.
All right. Touseef, I'll have to take a short break at this point. Touseef, Savio and Tuhin, thank you for your views on this. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.